Now that Detzel's here, we can start stream. I'm just kidding. But, Detzel, specifically you, I want to know from everyone, have y'all seen the new Superman movie? Because I wanna talk about it. And then we're going to get into some reacting stuff. No, Agrin, are you interested in it, or are you on the fence? All right, good, Detzel. Yeah. I'm not the big movie watcher, so I don't care about spoilers. Detzel, I will sue you, but it's for defamation, not for agreeing with me. All right. I thought Superman was amazing. I thought it was a great movie. I really liked it. I also had high expectations for the movie. I like James Gunn. I've been watching him since his horror days with like Slither and stuff. Like I know James Gunn. And I think James Gunn showed a surprising amount of restraint, because like one of James Gunn's fun things he does is needle drops. What is a needle drop? A needle drop is where usually there's a line that leads into it, like a dialogue line that leads into it, and then there's an action moment where the song starts and it's like kind of thematic to the moment, and it's a pop song. Pop song is in a popular song, not like pop music. So like think of Guardians of the Galaxy. Lobster. Okay. Guardians of the Galaxy is like infamous. There's a lobster commander. Hold on. You've just ruined my easy edit of me reviewing Superman for YouTube. Thanks, Agrin. Thanks. Lobster commander, because I have no restraint. Oh, dude, he looks fucking sick. Look at this guy. Artifacts you control are foods. In addition to their other types, you have 2. Sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. Sacrifice a food. Ragast deals 3 damage to each opponent at the beginning of each instep. If you gained life this turn, untap Ragast. He has a special art. Sorry, everybody. Ooh. Dude, man, the special art from Edge of Eternities is freaking cool. Oh, God, look at these things. Exalted Sunborn, the Sothera Super Void, Anti-Casual Vestige and Showcase. Oh, Earthos Titanic. There's a Tezzeret. God, Tezzeret's so cool. I know some Magic people hate Tezzeret, but they're dumb. Price high to low. Okay. Exalted Sunborn is going to be huge. That space-time anomaly looks dope. Looks cool. Okay, anyways. Back to Superman. For Detzel. Okay. So good. I loved that James Gunn restrained himself from doing needle drops every 20 minutes. Not that I don't like it. I just think at this point it's become almost tiring. Not in a bad way, but like, oh, there's going to be a needle drop. And I did not know that. Agrin, they're reprinting Korvold, Almanath, and Mazarek. Do you play with those, or have you played against them? All right, focus. I had high hopes going into it. I had high expectations. I think I wanted to love it, and I wanted it to be really good. Detzel's so right. Superman is more of a music score movie than a soundtrack movie. Like, I feel like most people know the Superman theme songs. You know, like, it's a famous, like, Superman theme song is famous. There's a lot of famous composers who have worked on Superman movies. So if you, like, needle dropped every 20 minutes, every 15 minutes, you would lose kind of the film score aspect of Superman. And I think that would be an L for the movie. But yeah, so I loved it. I had high expectations, and it met my expectations. I think what surprised me the most, I would argue, is that the story, the like literal like story arc is tight. I truly kept thinking, oh, it's gonna fall apart in about an hour into the movie. Like, a typical superhero movie starts off really strong most of the time, with like promising a lot, they're doing a lot, but then about an hour in, there's threads that are left hanging. There's new things you have to understand that was not really set up in the first act. It starts to become messy. It did not happen. Like, they hold to one promise in one buy-in really well. And then after about an hour in, I was like, okay, I'm surprised. I like the look of it all. So I started getting really worried about the third act, the like last 30 minutes of a movie, more or less, right? And they hit it. It worked. I kept thinking it's going to get chaotic. They're going to start dropping stuff, or it's going to fall off the rails. And it didn't. I was very impressed, very surprised. Not because it's James Gunn, but because it's a Superman movie. It's a DC Universe movie. It's a comic book movie. Those tend to be the worst at keeping things on the rails, keeping it like contained and within its own self, right? So I was really excited, or really surprised and happy that they did that. Detzel will remember this, and other chatters will remember this. I was really worried about R.E.P.O. R.E.P.O, the dog. That is Superman's dog, or a dog from... Shoot, I don't remember the lore on R.E.P.O exactly, and they do a funny thing with R.E.P.O. I won't spoil that necessarily, but I was really worried about R.E.P.O, mostly because CG animals, CG companions, CG dogs, and specifically can be really terrible, just like awful. Partly that goes to I'm excited for the first time in years because I know DC will have good movies. Same. Oh, they're reprinting a lot of Corvold's cards. Yeah, Corvold's back, huh? That is gonna suck. Anyways, so there's a few reasons why CG animals can be really difficult to accomplish. One of those things is you tend to see CG dogs quite a bit because working with real life dogs is hard. You have to have many dogs that all look the same because not all dogs can learn all the tricks you need them to perform. And then when they CG an animal you're really familiar with, you can your brain knows what that animal would do, how it would interact with the world, and like the fur mechanics or the whatever mechanics, right? That's why there's like that uncanny valley with like CG humans, is like you look at humans a lot. Yes, Detzel. Okay, so a little under the hood, behind the scenes. R.E.P.O is actually James Gunn's adopted dog, like this kind of mutt that is adorable. Go look at his social media. He posts a ton about his dog and how how bad of a dog it is. And yes, even the bad behavior is based on James Gunn's dog. So what's crazy is they did a CG scan. They did like a bunch of scans of James Gunn's dog and then essentially like turned him white. Yes, that's exactly correct. To kind of make this dog. And it has this very mutt-like look. It's got like long, stringy
Peppermanden
hair.
demands to be shown a cute dog.
Oh, you're right. We got to have Gus on screen for this. I wish you got... I used to have my wife's dog when we met. His name was Bob. Bob was this great dog. So good. Gus and Bob became instant friends until Bob got to a certain age where he stopped remembering everything and would get angry about stuff. And they had a bit of a falling out, and we had to like literally keep them separated. It was really sad. But Bob looked a lot like James Gunn's dog. A bit more like a tank. He was kind of lower to the ground. But a gorgeous, fun dog. I miss him. I miss him all the time. But okay, so they did a lot of good stuff by like scanning a real dog, using like a lot of videos and reference for the dog in CG will help with that. They also used a really famous VFX house who did the last Guardians movie. If y'all saw that, there's this beautiful scene that tells you kind of the backstory of Rocket the raccoon. And this VFX house did all of that and is really good at animals. Like that's their like thing. Not their only thing, but that's their big thing. And so they used all the R.E.P.O scenes essentially are done by this one VFX house. And that went such a long way with the consistency, because a lot of the times the reason CG animals look so bad and with VFX is, well, I need to give you a VFX explainer first. All right, let's start there. Typically, the way a movie does visual effects is they send out all the shots they need visual effects for, and they send it wide. So like a bunch of studios, a bunch of VFX houses will then bid on the shot, saying like, this will take us X hours, X days to complete, and we can make it look like this. But then what happens is they don't just go to one VFX house. Like they'll be like, okay, you're going to do these shots. You're going to do those shots. You're going to do these other shots. And, oh, this guy who bid really low, we can't have all these houses doing them everything. So we're going to have all these other houses do these like filler shots that are a little easier. So you have like a bit of inconsistency. And that's why when you watch like especially a movie that has a lot of CG animals in it, why there can be some fluctuation with the way the animal acts, the way the animal looks to some degree, like the lighting and comp of it. So by choosing one VFX house to do all the R.E.P.O shots, it was really smart. It cost more money to do it that way, and I think that's why a lot of shows and movies just don't do it that way. But holy crapola, R.E.P.O looked great and acted very much like a dog would act, and they nailed it. I cannot believe it. Yes, I'm getting to that, Detzel. All right, so there's a few things I thought they did really well as well. Like on top of just like the movie looked mostly amazing. Like the VFX, they chose their moments really well. It looked really good. And I think one of the things they did really well was they didn't just retell like the Superman origin story. They did get it all in there, but it wasn't like the movie started out with like Jor-El and him saving Kal-El and sending him to Earth. Like there is a bit of a it's not even narrated. They do this really funny threes thing at the beginning of the movie, and it's so good. It works so well. Like, so they're not just like going back and retelling the same trodden thing, which I think is really smart. And I think what that made me like I said, they did a preamble, but it starts fast and full on. Like you're in a battle with Superman. You're witnessing Superman like lose a battle potentially. I'm trying not to spoil it a ton, but I will. They also had Superman in his 30s, which I think is a great choice because it shows how like being in your 30s, you're not old. You're actually kind of young. You're like a young guy. You're cool like Superman if you're in your 30s. But yeah, they took the Spider-Man approach to Superman. Like, we don't need to show you the spider bite in the first 30 minutes. Like, you know who Spider-Man is. Superman exists for 3 years. Enjoy. But it did make me think about how comic book movies work today versus when I was a kid. Like, when I was a kid, like the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie came out. There was a Superman movie when I was younger. There was like all these starts to comic book movies, like the Batman movies and the whatever, right? And they all kind of had to tell you like, this is who this person is. This is why they're this way. And now they're this superhero or whatever it is. And I think with the current climate around what geeky nerdom is now kind of cool. Comic books are kind of cool now. Maybe you haven't ever read a comic book, but you're super familiar with comic book heroes and who they are. And a lot of people tend to research and learn about these comic book characters before they ever see the movie. So you don't have to do this like origin story that I think in the past studio heads, filmmakers thought you had to do. And I think that helps make a comic book movie. I don't think you could have done this in the 90s or even in the early aughts, but you can now. And I think it works so much better. Like, I also think we treat viewers maybe as like imbeciles in the entertainment world, where we don't think a viewer could possibly know what this character is, and they can go not knowing certain bits because that's part of the buy-in. Like when you first watch a sci-fi movie, you're not like, well, I wonder how they got into space and I wonder why there's aliens. You're just like, okay, we're in space, there's aliens, we're doing this thing. That's the buy-in. Like, just get to it. Yeah, kind of like what zombie movies do. They no longer need to explain how or what zombies are, how they act, that they want to eat your brains, that they're like, cannibalistic, that, it's fun to learn. I do think sometimes it's fun to learn like why zombies were created, but do I need to know that? No. Like, I'm buying in that, okay, zombies are real in this film universe, this multiverse that we're getting a peek into. And then, going back to what Detzel was saying about Lex Luthor, I thought they treated Lex Luthor in a fantastic way. He's smart, he's rational, but he's still a human, right? Like, he's not this like robot of a person. He gets frustrated, he gets angry, he has, but he also just did billionaire shit. Much like Tetzel said, I wish I had thought about saying that so well, because he is a billionaire. He has all this money. He doesn't give a shit about the peasants beneath him. And I think that's really good. It also kind of leads you into this like humanity thing, like, and how it's punk rock to try and protect people and do good. And that is what Superman is. Superman wants to be human. He wants to be, he's still a dude that thinks he is a god because he is smart. 100% Tetzel. Yeah, Lex Luthor is a human who, in the comics, I used to read a lot of Justice League. I was a DC Universe kid. I read DC Comics when I was a kid. And we've never really had a ton of great DC movies. Like, we've had some cool Batman movies along the way. His kryptonite is supermodels. Yes. That's funny, Dessel. But Lex Luthor was always a man at the end of the day, who thought of himself as this genius, and he is in the comic books. He is like larger than life, but he is still a man who's jealous, who's got emotions. And even though, yeah, he probably is somewhere on the autism spectrum, he doesn't have to be a robot. And no person is a robot. As much as like it'd be sure nice to be a robot some days. Even I am not. Like, you know, like you can have depression, you can have all these things, and I think they really handled that very well. And that kind of brings us up to Superman. Like, Superman is a Boy Scout inherently, but they actually show a very emotional side of Superman where he can get angry, he can get frustrated. There's really great moments with Clark Kent or Superman and Lois Lane that are moments I don't think I've ever seen in even the animated series, because the animated series, they kind of treat Superman as holier than thou, and I feel like this pulls that back more into the comic books. And granted, I didn't read a ton of Superman comic books. I read a lot of Supergirl. I was 14. Sue me. But he gets angry and frustrated about things and like doesn't understand why people don't see it the way that he sees it. And I think that really helped. Lurk away, sir. It really helps with the overall nature of what Superman promises to be. Someone who wants to be human and sees themselves as human, even though they are a literal alien, an immigrant to America. Like, it's great. I also loved the Justice Gang, as it is called in the movie so far, with like Mr. Terrific. Great character. Love Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is super prevalent in the Justice League animated series. Super prevalent in the comics, especially the Justice League style comics. I know he has his own comic. I've never really read Mr. Terrific, so it was very fun to see kind of more of Mr. Terrific. The actor that plays Mr. Terrific, I know him from this series about crypto or something. He had this weird series with Martin, the guy who played Frodo. I've just forgotten his name, but it was a really fun series. But like, I think the thing I know him the most from is that he played the Theory of Evolution. Oh God, this is horrible of me. In the X-Men series where they rebooted it, he played Darwin. He played a character called Darwin, which he can evolve and adapt to everything. And I loved him in that movie. I thought he was one of the cooler characters. He drove a taxi and gets recruited, and then he almost dies instantly, which is horrible. But he was great. Guy, or the Green Lantern, was so douchey as you could ever want him to be, because Guy, the first Green Lantern, essentially, from Earth is kind of this douche character, and I love that Nathan Fillion was there just to be made fun of and look like a fool as much as possible. He and James Gunn's are friend, and that was like one of the things. He wanted to make a good movie and embarrass Nathan Fillion, which is such a funny idea. Detzel. Hold on. Let me talk about Nathan Fillion. I think Nathan Fillion pulled that character off so well. Nathan Fillion has actually done Green Lantern before. There was like a Green Lantern animated film where he got to play Guy the Green Lantern. And it was so good. He does such a good job as Green Lantern. I love him. I love him in general, but I loved him as Green Lantern, which was so good. His stupid haircut was fantastic. I thought they just, like, that was knocked out of the park for me. Knocked out of the park for me. Almost to the degree where it was, like, almost egregious, but it works with the character in a great way. Loved it. Okay, Hawk Girl. I thought Hawk Girl was dope. She was great. Love the actress. She's from The Last of Us, the actress that played Hawk Girl. I thought she was really great. I am not surprised that the internet is shitting on her and Hawk Girl. I do have one issue with Hawk Girl, and this issue has more to do with, like, I think it's weird in general as a character to do this, not the actor. Let's be clear. My biggest complaint was how she shrieks in battle. And I say this very well aware that in Justice League animated series and in the comics, that is a trait of Hawk Girl. She does this in battle. It just felt off to me. I don't know. I think it was just like, I like that actor so much, and I thought the character was done really well. I like kind of her sassiness, and that she hates the Green Lantern. And I liked everything. I don't know. It was just maybe I need to see it again and appreciate, like, go in knowing it's going to happen and appreciate it. It felt like, at least the first time, it was kind of jarring, or it was jarring when she didn't. I don't know how to explain my oddness around it. It's great. It is kind of great in that way, Detzel, that there was, like, just no fucks given about, I'm just going to shriek in battle, which makes sense. Like, it would be like having a fist fight where nobody grunts or makes a noise. That would be super weird. Like, if Superman is fighting Ultraman and they're just absolutely silent, you'd be like, well, this is weird. So, like, what's the difference in Hawk Girl shrieking in battle, right? Like, that makes more sense than her being silent. So, you know what? I'm coming around on it. I think it felt like the Wilhelm scream. Like they should have. Maybe my issue is that they used, like, the same shriek, it felt like, every time, versus, like, adjusting the shriek. I don't know. Yeah. Zack Snyder would have slow-moed the shit out of that character, and they would have been the hottest woman ever created. And yeah, and I think what's her name is super attractive. She's a very pretty woman, but she is not Gal Gadot supermodel, right? Like, it is a different type of attractiveness. Very hot. Hawk Girl is the actress that plays her, but it's not like I'm walking down the runway supermodel. God, now I'm just digging a bigger hole for myself. Yeah, there it is. That's what it is. She is not uber sexualized in the movie, nor is Lois Lane. Lois Lane is kind of just a badass, like, cool, mostly calm and collected when she has to be, but not afraid to, like, make jokes and be a butt of a joke. Where, yeah, like, it seems like Zack Snyder loves going for like sexualization at every moment. Both. I'm not trying to defend Zack Snyder, but he also does that with male characters as well, where it's almost more important to be like sexy and attractive than it is to be the butt of a joke or have comedy. So I mean, like that kind of wraps up my thoughts about Superman. I thought it was fantastic. I think to critique it a bit, there's some funny looking shots of Superman flying around that probably didn't have to be in there. But it's a good movie. It's a great movie. I kind of wish I had written out my thoughts right after I had watched the movie. I need to get better at that for these moments of like kind of doing a bit of a movie review. Because I kind of want a bit more balance. And I know I had a few critiques of just like weird moments that I was like, you could probably have done this or that. And I love a bit more balance, but like it was just a good movie. If like the story circle completed, there's two fun after credits sequences that are hilarious. They're not like a Marvel after credit sequence, which kind of leads me into the first thing I want to share, which is this. Hopefully this works. Look out! It's Supergirl! I love Supergirl so much. Like I said earlier, I read a bunch of Supergirl comic books. I was a Supergirl fan. I thought she was dope. I was also 13, 14 when I started reading Supergirl. So was there also another reason? 100%. I think the actor who plays Supergirl is awesome. She's from the HBO series, the follow-up series to Game of Thrones. What is that called? She plays the Queen. She's fantastic. She's super cute. It works super well, and I love the like House of Dragon. Thank you. She was fantastic in that series. I think she's going to kill it as Supergirl. I'm so excited for Supergirl. I don't think I would have been this excited for Supergirl without Superman being so good. They're kind of almost antithetical characters to each other, which is kind of how the comic books treat it. Supergirl is kind of more a brash teenager to Superman's like more adult, mature idea of himself. I don't think he always is that way, having read a lot of comic books from the DC world, but like that is how he sees himself and how he attempts to act. But I'm really excited. Yes, R.E.P.O and her are fantastic with each other. I'm really excited. I think they could do a lot. Now, I believe a couple years ago when the DC slate was announced, this might be a TV series. It might be a movie. I'm not sure what it actually ends up being, but I'm excited. Like she has so many cool storylines that I read from her comic books, Supergirl that is, that I'm very excited about. So I mean that kind of wraps up Superman review and my excitement for it. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Like to Detzel's point, I can now be excited about DC Universe movies. I'm so stoked. It's gonna be so fun.
REPO, go. Lighthouse mission, go. Control, go. Falcon, go.